Welcome back to ViralVault, the place where horror hides, laughs, and sometimes chews your face off. Tonight we're pulling you through every flavor of nightmare. Folk horror, supernatural thrillers, slasher horror soaked in blood, cult classic horror that refuses to die, even a few psychological traps you'll never escape. So, ready for the first plunge? What if terror begins with a camera and no way out? Number 1. Wreck, 2007. Found footage, a supernatural thriller that locks you inside and swallows the key. John Balaguerro and Paco Plaza didn't just make a movie. They built a panic attack. Manuela Velasco plays a TV reporter tagging along with firefighters, expecting late-night drama. What she gets is a quarantined apartment crawling with bloodthirsty neighbors who are not neighbors anymore. Every scream is caught on shaky handheld. Every hallway feels like it's closing in. No music to save you. Just raw chaos. For me, it's a suffocating 9 out of 10. A supernatural thriller that feels less like watching and more like surviving. If you've ever wanted to taste claustrophobia on screen, this is it. But don't get too comfortable, because the next monster wears a smile painted in blood. Number 2. Terrifier, 2016. Slasher horror at its most vicious, and the clown doesn't joke.
He was gonna hack me up in little pieces or something.
Damien Leone gave us Art the Clown, brought to life by David Howard Thornton, and the horror world has never been the same. Halloween night, 2 women, Jenna Cannell and Samantha Scafidi, think it's just another creepy stalker. But Art isn't stalking, he's hunting. Every scene is a dare. You either look away or admit you're complicit in the slaughter. The gore is shocking, mean, almost gleeful in its cruelty. It's not subtle, not clever, but that's the point. For me, it's a savage 7.5 out of 10, a slasher horror that knows exactly what it is. You'll never trust a clown again. And if you think that's bad, wait until we return to the building where evil has evolved. Number 3. Wreck, 2009. You thought infection was scary? Try possession inside 4 walls.
All time, dare you to take a second look.
Balaguerro and Plaza drag us right back. No time to breathe. This time it's Jonathan Meller as a priest, marching in with a SWAT team. Bullets and holy water, side by side. And suddenly, the virus isn't just biological. It's demonic. The confined chaos of the first film now pulses with exorcism-level terror. The screams echo deeper. The darkness feels alive. For me, this is an 8 out of 10, not as fresh, but darker, sharper, and crueler. And if you thought buildings were bad, what happens when the haunting shows up in your own living room, through your screen? Number 4. Host, 2020. A supernatural thriller born from lockdown, and Zoom becomes your coffin. Rob Savage did something brilliant with almost nothing. Haley Bishop, Gemma Moore, Emma Louise Webb and friends hop on a Zoom call. A seance as a party trick. Until someone answers. The demon doesn't need to break into your house. It's already staring through your webcam. The screen glitches, the lights flicker, and suddenly your own laptop feels cursed. It's short, relentless, and more terrifying than most 2-hour films. For me, this is a chilling 8.5 out of 10, a supernatural thriller that proves even Wi-Fi can kill you. Now, are you ready to go under? Where the walls are wet, and the dead wait at the bottom of a lake. Number 5. The Deep House, 2021. Folk horror doesn't always live in forests. Sometimes it waits underwater. Alexander Bustillo and Julian Maury submerge us with James Jagger and Camille Rowe. 2 YouTubers dive into a flooded house. Cameras rolling, oxygen ticking down. At first it's exploration. Then, something moves in the murk. The walls creak, shadows drift, and suddenly you realize the house is not abandoned. The water itself becomes the trap. Crushing, endless, suffocating. It's a fresh spin on haunted house terror. For me, it's a 7.8 out of 10. Eerie, original, and wet enough to make you reconsider lakes forever. But our next nightmare doesn't lurk underwater. It has wings, and it's hungry again. Number 6. Jeepers Creepers. Reborn, 2022. The creeper returns, but maybe it should have stayed buried. Directed by Timo Vuorensola, this chapter drags Sidney Craven's Lane into the Horror Hound Festival. It should be cosplay and fun. Instead, the creeper swoops in, feeding on fear and flesh like the old days. But something feels off. The monster is still vicious. But the magic of the first films is gone. It's gory, loud, and occasionally entertaining, but hollow. For me, it's a weak 5.5 out of 10. Slasher horror that limps when it should fly. Still, even a flawed monster hunt has teeth. And speaking of being trapped, what if the road itself refuses to let you go? Number 7. The Fearway, 2022. Psychological horror disguised as an endless highway.
You can't outrun him. It's just not possible.
Robert Gadget gives us Shannon Delonzo and Justin Gordon, a couple stuck in the strangest road trip. Every mile leads back to the same spot. Every exit vanishes, and the same faceless threat hunts them down. It's not about gore. It's about dread, about repetition grinding you down until you lose track of what's real. The atmosphere works, even if the execution wobbles. For me, it's a 6.8 out of 10, a psychological horror that whispers instead of screams. But sometimes whispers are scarier. Next though, it's not the road, not the woods. It's a lab, and ghosts are the test subjects. Number 8. Ghost Lab, 2021. A supernatural thriller where science collides with obsession. From Thailand, director Paween Purajit Panya hands us two doctors, Thanapab Liratanakachorn and Parasan Tarakomalyasud. Their mission? Prove the afterlife is real. At first it feels noble, even touching. Then their experiments twist into obsession. They push too far, daring the dead to respond. And the dead answer. The horror here isn't in jump scares. It's in grief, ambition, the line between sanity and madness. It's haunting in a different way. For me, it's a thoughtful 7 out of 10. A supernatural thriller that sticks more in your mind than under your bed. But if you want laughs with your blood, the next stop is Zombie Country. Number 9. Zombieland, 2009. Cult classic horror. But this time, the apocalypse is hilarious.
What do you think?
Ruben Fleischer takes Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin, then throws them into a zombie playground. Instead of bleak despair, we get rules for survival. We get Twinkies. We even get Bill Murray being Bill Murray. The zombies are there, but the real fun is the banter, the chemistry, the absurdity of laughing while the world burns. It's gory enough to count as horror, but funny enough to rewatch endlessly. For me, it's an easy 8.2 out of 10. Cult classic horror that makes the end of the world look fun. But sequels, they always try to go bigger. Let's see if it works. Number 10. Zombieland. Double Tap, 2019. 10 years later, the zombies evolved. But so did the jokes. Ruben Fleischer returns with the same gang, Eisenberg, Harrelson, Stone, Breslin, plus Zoe Deutsch, who steals scenes in pink oblivious glory. The humor's sharper, the zombies nastier, but the fear? Not so much. It leans hard into comedy, less into horror. And yet, there's comfort in watching old friends survive chaos together. It's fun, quick, and satisfying, even if it doesn't reinvent the apocalypse. For me, it's a light 7.5 out of 10. Cult classic horror leaning toward comedy. The dead still walk and laugh with you. And that's the ride through hell. Survivor. From suffocating folk horror to demonic supernatural thrillers. From blood-soaked slasher horror to cult classic horror that makes us laugh at the end of the world. This is ViralVault, and the doors never stay shut. So tell me, which one will follow you into your dreams tonight? Comment below if your hands aren't still shaking, because the shadows aren't done with you.